Welcome back to Soul Travels. New haircut.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank
It looks
you.
good.
We're getting ready to start a two-part series that I think, and Tammy thinks, I don't want to speak for her,
But you just did.
but I just did. We think you're going to love this. That's for sure. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Next.
On Soul to Soul Travels.
You stole my line again.
Sorry.
I've been instructed not to say welcome to Soul Travels. So we're going to jump right into it. This is the first of a two-part series. First of a two-part series. I personally think you're going to like it. And what is today's part?
5 questions that you need to ask yourself before moving to the Netherlands.
Yes. Next week is going to be really good. And next week's is 5 of the most difficult things about living in the Netherlands. And they're pretty heavy-hitting topics. I think they are anyways. But with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into the first question.
Yeah.
So let's go.
All right. So the first question is, why are you moving here? I just totally stole your line.
She totally stole my line again. But we're going to go ahead and run with it.
We are?
Yes, we're going to run with this. So the first question is, why are you moving here?
Yeah.
It may seem like a pretty basic question, but it's not.
No.
It's not a basic question at all. Because there's a lot of different reasons that people move to a lot of different places, but jumping into Europe, jumping into the Netherlands specifically,
Right.
You need to jump through a lot of hoops, and you just need to figure out, why are you coming here?
Right. Are you running away from something? Are you running towards what you think might be a better life? Are you moving here for a job? All good.
You running from the law? They'll catch up with you. So, you just really need to ask yourself, why are you moving here, and why are you coming here specifically? Have you done your research on what it really takes to get in here? Have you done your research on things like, hey, it rains a lot here, and somebody may turn around and go, I had no idea it rained a lot here. I just didn't know. Do your research, figure out really why you're coming here, like Tammy says, and I'm going to use her line, what you're running from, what are you running to? The grass is always greener on the other side. It might be for some people, but you may find out
There's had some brown patches every now and
it's
then.
got some brown patches.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and plus each reason, it seems, has a different visa.
Yes.
So a good place to start that research in finding out how you would need to, what kind of visa you would need, is with the Netherlands government.
We came in under the DAFT. We have friends that have come over. Their job has sponsored them, so they have jobs here.
Yeah.
And we also know people that have come over with no jobs.
Or that married into a Dutch family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So have an honest discussion at the very least with yourself and ask yourself, why are you really coming over here? Because it could be the greatest thing in the world, or it can be the worst thing in the world for you. Just ask yourself that question. So let's move on. Let's go to question number 2. Hopefully it's better than question number 1, and let's do it. All right.
What's next?
Question number 2. That's what's next. It's such an important question. I mean, it is just such an important question.
Yeah.
And what is that, Tam?
Is everyone on board with this?
Everybody's got to be on board. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I'm saying is
It would be a rough road.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's definitely a rough road.
Yeah.
And to give you an example, and I'll just use Tammy and I as an example. If I want to move to Europe, and I really want to move to Europe, and I ask Tammy, "What do you think?" and Tammy's doing
Yeah.
we can give it a try, see what happens.
Yeah.
It might work.
It might work, but you're uprooting everything and moving somewhere that you're not quite on board with.
Exactly.
So everybody does need to be on board.
Everybody needs to be on board, because the first little bump that kind of comes along, it's just going to make things that much more
Yes, absolutely, I agree. And then if you have children involved,
gosh, yes.
boy, yeah, that's another
toddlers
tough
and
one.
babies.
Toddlers and babies probably wouldn't have that much of they wouldn't notice that much, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you can move them halfway around the world, and as far as they know, they just got moved across the room. They don't. I mean, they don't even know.
Yeah, but when they get older and they have their whole world is there wherever you're coming from, family, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins.
They really kind of need to be on board too. I mean, really, they do.
Yeah.
So, yes. So everybody needs to be on board, and it's just such an important conversation to have.
Yes.
Not once, not twice, multiple times as you go through this whole process.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference between I'm scared, I'm on board, I'm scared, I don't know, versus let's give it a shot and see what happens.
Because if your heart's not in it, your every little thing is just going to be a miserable experience.
Exactly. Everything from taking out the trash to, the size of the apartment you live in.
Right.
So,
which are small, by the way, over here.
You have no idea. So, anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Just remember to make sure everybody's on board. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want it to be a smooth process. Let's move on to the next question. All right, so this next question is, if you are moving to Europe, i.e. specifically the Netherlands, the big question is what?
What are you willing to part with?
What are you willing to part with? So when we came over here...
Another soul-searching question.
Deep soul searching on this one, that's for sure.
Right.
We came over with, what did we come here with?
Two big duffel bags and 2 suitcases. Well, each had 1 duffel bag, 1 suitcase.
Right.
And then
duffel bag, suitcase.
Right. And then we had a smaller box shipped over here. And
pretty much got rid of
everything else.
95% of everything that we own.
Yeah.
And it was very much some soul searching when it came to what we got rid of and what we didn't get rid of.
Right.
We did things like, here's my theory. We went through boxes and we pulled things out of boxes that I hadn't seen in 8 years. And you want to go ahead and go, let's keep it. Put it back in the box, and we probably won't look at it again for another 8 years.
Yeah.
So
probably don't need that item.
You probably don't need that item. As cool and as memory filled as it might be,
you
just don't need it. You're making a clean break, a clean start.
Right. And I think one of the things that helped us was that we rented a fully furnished apartment.
Yeah, we did.
So getting rid of our other furniture wasn't that big of a deal.
Nothing wrong with shipping your furniture over.
No. And then there's another research thing that you have to, go through and really do some.
Is your company willing to pay to have your furniture come over?
Right, and cars or whatever you think you can't part with.
Got rid of Tammy's car.
Yeah.
My car was a company car. Turned that in. I mean, it's just, you just need to evaluate what you really need and what you don't really need, because there's stuff in storage, and you can put stuff in storage, and 3 years later you're going to be going, why are we still paying on this storage? I mean, either let's get it over here or let's sell it. So evaluate what's important to you, what's not. Pictures.
We had a lot of pictures.
We took a lot of pictures.
Pictures that we came across that were really special to us. Yeah. We took pictures of them, which is nice because now we have them right at our fingertips, not having to go in a box like in 10 years and say, oh yeah. But now we have them right there.
If you're going to take anything away from this conversation, you take this away from this conversation, and that is, if you're really going to do this, start now. Because what's going to happen is you're going to come down to the last week before you move, or the last 3 days, and you still have a house full of furniture and just mementos, and you're going to be sitting there going like, what do we do with this stuff? What do we do with it? So start working on it now. Tag it. Start a list.
I had a
queen of lists here.
I had a list, and it was exciting when we would get
cross it off.
Cross it off.
Exactly.
Have our weekly meetings to go over what we've accomplished.
We did.
Because there's a lot. You have to close all your accounts.
There's a mind-boggling amount of stuff. Yes.
Close all your accounts. Find out what is needed to be here. Healthcare.
Start accounts here.
Medication. Because we weren't sure when we were going to be able to get into a doctor and get prescriptions. So we had to make sure that we had enough.
Exactly.
So there are just all kinds of things that you don't think about.
you want to know about the medicine and prescriptions and things like that, tune into next week's video because we're going to be talking about that subject as well. But yes, discover what you are willing to part with and be honest again with yourself. What's really worth keeping and what's not worth keeping. That's for sure. I was fortunate because I got to keep her. I made that decision.
Yes. So, oh, thank you. Thanks.
So find out what's worth keeping, what's not worth keeping, make some hard decisions, and just clean it out.
And there's nothing wrong with getting a storage and keeping your things in there and There
isn't, because you may have plans on going back in 5 years and you want to pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
So, but I guarantee you, once you come here, you're not going to want to go back in 5 years.
Wherever you come from. Wherever
you come from, exactly.
Right.
So anyways, let's move on to the next question and see what the next question has to hold. Okay, what's the next question?
Are you financially able to make this move?
Good question. Mm-hmm. So, I can tell you this, I'm not in the habit of discussing our personal finances at all.
And you're going to start now?
And I'm going to start right now.
Oh boy.
We got a lot of people asking us how we can afford to do this, how we can afford to do that. So, I can honestly tell you this, that Tammy is a stockholder in Disney. Is that or is that not true?
It's true.
All right. Now, about 15 or 20 years ago, I purchased not 100 shares. I didn't purchase 1,000 shares of Disney stock. How many shares of that stock did I purchase for you? One share. Check it out.
Oh, gosh, you even have it over there.
I even have it right here. That is an actual stock for Tammy that I purchased. It says right here, Merry Christmas, Pooh Girl. Here's a piece of the 100-acre woods and the rest of the Magic Kingdom.
What is that dated? 2007.
So I purchased that in 2007, and that is an actual piece of stock. Correct me if I am wrong. Do we or do we not make money off of this stock?
Yes, we do.
We make money off of this stock, and we do receive dividend checks off of this stock. And if you can go ahead to the best of your ability, calculate in euros for them.
Okay.
How much our last dividend check was for?
I'd say 50 cents.
About 50 cents. So
we're going places.
We're going places, folks. But anyways, yes, I did purchase that for her. It is pretty cool.
But that's not how we
That is not how, I would never discuss our finances. But not plugging these guys, it was oneshare.com. I don't even know if they're in business anymore.
Yeah.
But
it's cool.
It is cool. You can buy a piece of Disney. You can buy a piece of PGA. Check it out if you get a chance. Shameless plug for these guys. I love them. Yeah. So anyways.
You need to make sure that you are financially able to move over here.
Are you financially able? Because
you never know when expenses are going to come up. Oh, sorry.
No. You're right. You never know when expenses are going to come up because over here, your job pays you. How often does your job pay you?
I think for the most part, it's once a month.
About once a month.
Yeah. So, you have to be pretty good with budgeting.
I was just going to say, she's the one with a budget going on. She's pretty good at that. I'm not as good at that. But yeah, you need to be pretty good about budgeting, especially when you're coming in and you're just getting your first paycheck or two paychecks. You just got to realize that's coming in once a month.
Yeah, there are some unexpected expenses that pop up. It's probably a good idea to have money set aside in case something happens, a tragedy happens back where you are from.
Exactly.
Just to have that.
Check it out right here. Grandson is born. You want to be able to go back and check him out. How you doing, Cash?
So cute.
Anyways, so I don't know your financial situation. Obviously, you don't know our financial situation, but you just really need to evaluate how nicely or how poorly or how the middle of the road you want to live. That's for sure.
Yeah. So,
yes, make sure you're financially stable. That's for sure. Let's move on to the next question and check it out. I think this is going to be our last question coming up, too.
This one, yeah. Number 5.
Let's move on to number 5. All right, so the last of our 5 questions is, and again, it seems like it's a pretty basic question, but boy, you really need to be prepared for this. Mm-hmm. And what is that, Tam?
Are you ready for a completely new way of life?
Are you ready for a completely new way of life? When you move to the Netherlands, everything's the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just
I think people
different.
that would be moving from other European countries won't have that difficult of a time.
Yeah, they'll adjust a whole lot easier.
Yes, right. But everything is different over here.
Everything from the food that you eat.
Yep.
Which some of it is kind of and some of it is kind of like the bread. Oh my gosh.
The bread is so good.
Love the bread.
There's no preservatives.
Never used to be a cheese eater. Now I'm a cheese eater.
Yeah.
So even when you grocery shop.
And laundry.
Let's go back to the grocery shopping.
Yes.
Thing. Grocery shopping.
Right.
Once again, thank God for Google Translate.
Yes. Right.
You're in there going like, what is this?
Okay. The language. If you can't read Dutch, you better have Google Translate on your phone.
We went in when we first got here. We bought a few things. I bought what I thought was dip. And it is a dip, but it was filet American. And come to find out, what is it, Tam?
It's raw meat.
Raw meat. So, which they really love over here. But anyways, yeah, it's different. Like Tammy says, the laundry is different. Mm-hmm. When we do laundry, and I'm talking to the people now specifically in the United States, when we do laundry, we wash our clothes and we dry our clothes. That's a lot of times not how it works here. We talked to somebody.
They do dry their clothes.
They do dry their clothes. They hang their clothes out to dry.
Sometimes, if you don't have a built-in, or if you don't have a washer and dryer or a washer-dryer combo,
right.
They would typically hang up their clothing.
We ran into somebody that we know. Well, we didn't. We know somebody, and we were having this conversation. She was absolutely shocked that we insisted on drying everything in the dryer, other than sweaters or whatever. But we wash it, it goes into the dryer. Whereas she washes, like a lot of the Dutch do, they take it home and then they hang it out to dry on the back or whatever.
Yeah, they just use their washing machine in the house.
Yeah, exactly. We have a washing machine in the house here. It's a little iffy. But nevertheless, once again, we got off under the washer dryer.
Yeah, we did. That's
how easily we get sidetracked. So everything is different here. Transportation is different.
Yep.
Love the transportation. The people you encounter are going to be different. The Dutch directness is very real here. And if you're not careful, it's misinterpreted.
Right. And it's not an extended vacation. This is, if you don't adapt quickly, then you're in for a rougher road.
When you move over here, it is very much a vacation for about 2 weeks. And then you realize you got to eat, you got dirty clothes you got to take care of. Yeah. Right. So, yes, like Tammy says, it is not an extended vacation by any stretch.
Right.
So there are a lot of things to adapt to, and they do things different over here. Everything is pretty much done by appointment over here. You just can't really walk into someplace. And it's different. It's exciting. I mean, it really is exciting to learn how things work and to be here.
Right.
But again, if you are not ready for a new way of life, and if you think you're coming over here and you're going to live the same way you did in whatever country you came from.
Right, doing the same things the same way. It's probably not going to work out like you think. It's not going to be the same.
It's not. It really is not.
Right.
So
it's not a bad thing. It's not. You just have to be willing to adapt to new things.
And it's like we have been echoing this all the way through. If you're not willing to adapt, if you're not willing to have these conversations, if you're not willing to self-reflect, it is going to be an extremely rough transition for you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So those are our 5 things that we had that you need to ask yourself actually before you move to the Netherlands. Very basic questions, but that basic on the surface, they're much deeper than really appears to be.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for the likes.
Thank you for sticking with us through this video if you made it this far.
Even if we got sidetracked. So next week's video is going to be great. Next week's video is we're going to be doing some hard-hitting stuff. And right about now, Tammy's going like, you didn't tell me about this.
Right.
So next week's video is going to be great. But thank you so much for all the people, especially in the last video, that threw comments in there and all the thumbs and the likes and
thumbs up. Yeah,
the
go
subscribe.
ahead. Take the time now to hit that thumbs up button.
Exactly. Hit the subscribe button if you have. It costs you nothing. Zero. Doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
So, as a matter of fact, they give you a financial tip. Just go to oneshare.com. You can start making money. So, anyways,
50 cents.
It's a pretty cool site. Thank you so much. From Soul to Soul Travels. Till next time, we'll see you there.
Tutsines.
How do? Dewey. See you later.